And of course, when you are sitting alongside totally unknown people in which you need to trust because they are driving, they should trust on you, but because you are a coach. But you have to trust to them, and they are not a coach. It's not easy. When you are coaching someone, the most important thing is to be to match with them, because of course you are facing totally different people with totally different experience and with totally different attitude. So the most important thing to be a good coach is not to show your own capabilities, because you are paid for this, so it's normal that you are able to drive, otherwise you will not be there. But to understand who are you, what you need from me, and how can I help you. This is the most interesting and difficult thing. Interesting because it's never the same. Difficult because it's never the same. So you need to try to find a compromise sometimes, because some people need to be pushed. Sometimes some people need to be, relaxed. And you need to understand this kind of different attitude. There are some people, they want to learn, so they are focused on you. Someone they just want to show off, like, why you are telling me I know it? Okay, if you know it, why you are here? So why you are not a coach as me? So it depends on the people. Again, it's basically a very interesting job, because it's never the same, and basically it's not a boring one. Sometimes it's pretty tough, because it's not easy to match with the people and to clash with them. And during the years, it became a little bit more dangerous, because, especially I'm talking about Ferrari, the cars are super quick. Every year they are doing something that is even quicker. So of course, the kind of stress, the kind of attention you need to put on, it's always one step beyond. And of course, when you are sitting alongside totally unknown people in which you need to trust because they are driving, they should trust on you, but because you are a coach. But you have to trust to them, and they are not a coach. It's not easy. And so the experience during the years has changed. In some way has become a little bit tougher, but still is plenty of satisfaction. Again, it's never the same, so you should be definitely every time interested to build them something new. For sure, from the customer you can bring something in terms of your knowledge, not in terms of technical knowledge, because most of the time you know more than them, but in terms of how to behave and how to be related with the people, which is interesting as a human being, not just as a coach. So this is the main way I'm trying to coach the people. For me, it's more important to aware you rather than just coach you, because especially facing some dangerous situation, for me, it's not important to take you out of the trouble, but to give you the right tips to not get into the trouble. Okay, it's more important, because once you are there, it's not always easy to get out. So the best option is don't get in trouble, and this is really important. And it's also really important to explain to them how the things are going, because of course you are telling something, they should trust on you because you are experienced. But when you don't feel or you don't taste the problem, even though you are convinced about what they are saying, you don't have the proper feedback. So when I'm saying, okay, take the car, brake hard on wet, and you will see what's going to happen. The foot is yours, the car is yours, I'm here, do it, and you will feel what's going on. Later on, I will do what you do, and you will feel basically with yourself the two different things. This is the best way to convince the people about their potential capability, from the car, and to understand that each car are different. you cannot expect the same thing from a Land Cruiser or from a Lamborghini, because they still have a steering wheel and 4 tires, but it's totally different. The weight is different, the balance is different, the suspension are different, everything is different. So the only thing is you are the same, jumping from one car to the other one. So you need to change the attitude. The car is already changed by itself. So it's pretty interesting. As I told you, most of the people, they are thinking that I'm doing a very dream job, which is true, which definitely is true. But again, I was saying I'm definitely a lucky man, but I put a lot of effort on it. I still have this kind of passion, this kind of engagement. Of course, over the years, something is changing every time in every topic. You are more mature. You understand that something that at that time you were showing off or overexposing, it doesn't make sense, especially at this age. At that time, for sure, I was definitely super focused to show my capability. Now I don't need this feeling anymore, because I've done whatever I am or whatever I have done is done. So I'm definitely more mature. So my passion is still the same, but with it, from a different point of view. Remember that in general, I'm not talking about that Le Mans in general, but unfortunately, behind a very high level sport, there is a lot of political stuff. So most of the time you need to go in the behind the scene to understand that moment, what was happening at that moment, who was in charge to, managing the federation or that kind of stuff. And in some way, something that should appear not understandable, it becomes a little bit more understandable, or you should figure out what happened. Ferrari is a kind of brand that had an incredible heritage in all racing, especially when you are driving at that level. It's not easy. So now, for example, we are too far from the pace. It's not acceptable to be that far, especially when you have one super talented guy as Leclerc, absolutely a good driver as Vettel. You have a super big amount of money to spend. Basically, you have a good technician, so you should not win, because the victory is just for one, but you should not be so far back. Every track conditions, it shouldn't be possible. But for sure now Ferrari has to wake up quickly, because it's totally unacceptable what's going on in Formula One. Absolutely. In the GT cars, the problem is that there is a technical rules. There are some technical rules called BOP, balance of performance. BOP is a kind of trouble for GT cars. So that's why you should win Ferrari, Aston Martin, Porsche in a different year, just because of the BOP, because they are trying to put together different technical specs. So, for example, Porsche has the far back engine, Ferrari has the middle engine, Aston Martin has the front engine, and they are racing together. In some cases, one car should be nature aspirated, some cars should be turbocharged. So they trying to balance the performances, which is not easy. And again, in terms of political stuff, sometimes they should push towards one direction to the other one. So that's why, for example, for 2-3 years, Ferrari should not be competitive as much as the Porsche or someone else. So it's one of the main topics that teams and racing drivers in GTC are complaining, because federations or the serious promoter are making this kind of, not mistake, but they are messing up the rules through the BOP, which is something that comes from the FIA, the International Federation. So we'll see what's going to happen for Ferrari in GT. They are still super competitive, but through the BOP, something should change, not on a daily basis, but race by race.